Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
Say so, say so, radio. Say so, say so, radio. I say with Andre.
Radio with Andre Harrison Friends. Mic check, y'all. Welcome to SaySo Radio with Andre Harrison Friends. I am your host, Andre Harris, and we have an exciting day today. I just want to just take a moment of silence. I lost my son on Wednesday night, and so I just want to take a moment of silence and just memorize my baby. That's him in the middle. That's him right there. He's lived a good, full life. And so we just want to just ask that his soul rest in peace. That's my baby Robert, okay? And I'm excited today because today is a good day. Hi, everybody on Facebook. Y'all know the show has already begun. And today I have a wonderful, wonderful person here who's going to spend some time with us today. But I wanted to have a little bit of fun. Last Saturday, a lot of people know that I do lip syncing. So I want to get your views on my lip sync coming up on Faith Evans. So I want you guys to get in. But before I even go there, there is another author, opulent lady, Miss Jonica Lynch, whose new book, Opulencia Memoirs, has been released. And so please go on Opulent Lady and get your copies right off directly from her website. It's a really, really good book. They're just journals for every month. So it has this is for January. I think this is January. Yeah, January through December, but they're journals. And so you get to write in them, and let's see what she says in some of them. March is her Opulencia Memoirs. She understood that a slothful woman only gain in this world is poverty. She vowed not to let that be her legacy. So every month you have a goal, your affirmation, and your month's priorities. And so I ask that you guys grab a copy. Just wanted to put that out there for you all. And so are you all ready to have a little bit of fun before we get on with our show? Hey, everybody. I can't see who's on here today. I don't know what's going on. I have been on the road on travel, and I woke up, I think we got out on the road around 8:30 this morning to make it back to D.C. in a timely fashion. All right, so I am here and ready to give you guys a piece of my lip sync to Faith Evans, Tears of Joy. Now, I do not own the rights to that, so I need to hear what you guys have to say about my lip sync. So put it on for me, engineer. Let's see what they say.
When I think about it, baby, all I can do is shake my head. 'Cause there ain't no explanation on this earth. Oh, you must be heaven sent. With your crazy, 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 crazy love. Boy, you got me so messed up. So messed up.
Okay, welcome back, y'all. I need y'all input on that lip sync audition. Okay, but back to the real world. I have a phenomenal woman in the building, and I'm honored to actually be in her humble presence. She is the author. She's a mother. She's a devoted Christian, and you know we love Christians. And we're going to be talking about her book today, called "Younger Me, You Are Free." And I want her, and if my engineer could just show us her family and her guests, just show everybody in the audience. Now that's love. That's love, right? That is love. All right. And of course, my special friend is here all the way from Arkansas. I want to just welcome him to the Washington, D.C. area. Hey, Tori, welcome for joining us. We are so excited today. I'm going to get the stage set because I want to know, I want to take just one quick 30-second or 60-second break. And if you could put my son's picture up on the break, and we'll be right back in like 30 seconds. So don't touch that.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio, say with Andre. SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio, say with Andre.
Welcome back to SaySo Radio with Andre Harris and friends. I am your host, Andre Harris, and I have two wonderful friends with me today. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Latricia Lopez, and this is my handsome son, Nathan.
And Nathan, let me tell you something. Nathan is a YouTuber, okay? He's a YouTuber, so trust and believe. You may want to get to know Nathan very well. Yeah. All right? But, and we just thank everybody for coming in. You ought to give yourself a hand. Come on, give yourself a hand. Now, y'all know, let me tell you something about down here at SaySo Radio and Listen Vision. We don't do bored, so we need some noise. Let me hear some noise this morning.
That's all y'all got?
I know I can get a hallelujah in here this morning. All right, look at the family. Okay, so we want to talk about your book, but before we get to your book, tell our viewers, and I'm sorry for all of my viewers in all the other countries who have been following us, who have been watching us. I appreciate you so very much. I do not take it for granted or lightly because it's nighttime in some areas. It's very early in the morning in other countries, and you guys tune in and watch me faithfully. So I just want to say thank you, and I love you guys for your support. Okay, so before we get into Younger Me, You Are Free, tell us the premise behind the book.
Well, I would have to say that in my adult life, there was always just something missing, just a feeling of a sense of not belonging, per se. And the older that I got, and more relationship I developed with the Lord, I realized that a lot of my past was hindering me from fully receiving everything that the Lord had for me in the life that He has for me to live. So once I started to deal with my past, because a lot of times we don't deal with our past. We think that we're over it. We think that we're good. And writing this book showed me that I really wasn't over it. I really wasn't good, because it took me, as you read in the beginning of it, I had literally a mini nervous breakdown, which I took a break from the book for about maybe a year and a half to 2 years. And then when God said go, he opened up the doors, and I got back into it, and I was a different person writing the book. So he was dealing with me with some of the things. And so the purpose of this book is to help people find what their inner struggle is, and for them to be able to get to the root of it and get it solved, overcome it. That way you can just embrace life and not be hindered, because sometimes you don't think that you're hindered, but sometimes you really are.
That's amazing. We were talking about that last Saturday, actually, about how sometimes we're in bondage and we're held back and don't even know it until we get on the other side and we begin to see patterns and we begin to see things that have developed, and we're like, wow. But tell us about, Latricia, about your childhood.
Well, my childhood was, at the time I thought it was very normal. From the age about 5 years old, I had an uncle that lived with us, and, he would come in my room and he would do things at night, and it was my uncle. So I thought this was cool. We lived in a very partying home, alcohol, drugs, and stuff like that. I talk about my mother in this book, and she was lost up in the world and her own thing, and just allowed some things to happen that should not have happened. But overall, she did take care, make sure that we were in a food and home and stuff like that. But there was a lot of just there was sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, stuff like that.
So, my kids say hello. The kids say hello. There is something that I read in here on rejection, and I remember sticking the thank you card in here. I want to read a little bit of it if I can. I believe we all have a natural desire to be loved and accepted. In my childhood, I dealt with a lot of insecurity because of how I was raised. Rejection was one emotion that tormented me every waking day. Growing up, we moved around a lot. We didn't have a fancy home or fancy things. We didn't even own a vehicle. I got teased by my peers. I wasn't popular in grade school, middle school, or the earlier years of high school. Some kids can be so mean. And for some reason, I was an easy target. Certain youth could spot the smallest detail out and have their fun with it. For example, my mom would buy me white socks only. My peers saw that I only wore white socks. They would laugh and make fun of me in gym class. I know it's really silly, but that was something that really bothered me. These actions from my classmate caused such an insecurity within me. At times, walking down the hall, it felt like the students were laughing and making jokes towards me. Some clearly were, but not all did. Rejection had already set in my mind. Therefore, it was an insecurity I faced daily by not feeling good enough. The white socks were not the only thing I was made fun of for. I literally had maybe 3 pair of jeans, and due to that, my peers made fun of me over that as well. Having to wear the same pair of jeans more than once in a week, I was creative in how I wore them. Tweaking my style was not that difficult. Back in the early 90s, rolled jeans was a popular trend. Say on Monday, I would wear my jeans normal. Then on Thursday, I would roll them, trying to trick the other kids. But that didn't work. It seemed like an endless battle. Some may say, wow, that's really silly, just being kids being kids. That may be so, but the enemy used that bullying and turned it into a big deal for me, creating such a wall that I felt all were against me. One thing I want you to see is no matter how big or how small, no matter how big, my goodness, or small a situation may seem when one is going through it, they are still affected by it in many different ways. Talk to me about that rejection piece. That stuck out to me because I grew up also in the projects, and I didn't have much. Our shoes were like $2 or $3 from McBride's and Morton's, while everybody else was wearing, what they call what's those Bucky shoes? There's a shoe that Buster Brown's. everybody was wearing Buster Browns and Chuck Taylors and everything, and we had to get the Chuck Taylors without the Chuck Taylor sign.
Right.
So without, y'all call them Converses now, but we call them Chuck Taylors. Talk about how someone can actually get through that rejection piece.
Honestly, confidence. I mean, that's the only thing. Even in my adult life, being rejected by some family members and friends, people at church, going through the things that I went through, not just only in my home life, but in my school life, I did feel a sense of rejection. I mean, I didn't feel worthy at all. I did, and I kind of accepted that. So, becoming mature in Christ built my confidence up. So confidence truly is, in my opinion, the only thing that can get you through that rejection. Because once you're confident in who you are and accept the beautiful creation that you truly are, we all have something to offer. We all have a beauty within us. Even the ugliest person you know, and when I say ugly, I don't mean physically ugly, but even the ugliest person you know, there is something beautiful in them. There's something beautiful in us all. And if you can just tap into that beauty and tap into that confidence and focus on that and dwell within that, then that rejection and the people, I'm in my 40s and I still deal with rejection, but most of the time I can just water off a duck's back and redirect myself and, just know who I am in Christ and be confident that I have a lot to offer.
That's amazing, because we were discussing that, a couple of women and I were talking about how 9 people can say, oh, you look so pretty today. And one person can say, oh, you look a hot mess. You will forget about the whole 9 people that told you how wonderful you look and focus on that one person that said that negative statement about you, and you'll go around trying to figure out, how can I fix this? How can I make myself look better because that one person said something's wrong with me? And people don't understand that words and time are 2 things that you can never get back.
Right.
And so when people speak words that are not healthy words, and we're already dealing with some things that that we had to deal with growing up and things like that, so then someone comes around and speaks something that's not healthy. We try to get on the other side, and I hear you keep saying that confidence, but there's a pattern that we have to get to before we get to that level of confidence. And so what would you tell someone who is not where we are? We don't have that confidence. In fact, they're still being beat up about low self-worth and low self-esteem, even though we hear, oh, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You were made in God's image, and that's peace. That's the fruit of the Spirit. That's His image. But we don't feel that way.
Right. Yeah.
We can't even see it. The situation is so traumatic, and we're going through so much. How can you help me get there if it was me?
That's hard, because tapping into somebody's mental state is extremely hard. I just, if I had a friend that came to me with that, I would try everything I could to show them how beautiful they are, and just, they have to find ways to reaffirm themselves, whether it's writing down positive statements about themselves, posting it around the house, focusing on just a couple of different scriptures out of the Bible, or a couple of different positive statements from, any, good source. And just you have to just feed your brain that. You have to feed your soul that. But it's hard tapping into somebody's mental state.
That's right. And life and death is in the power of the tongue. And it's something you said about giving yourself affirmations and things like that. On my wall at home, I give myself a lot of affirmations. I tell myself that you're important to God no matter what nobody else says. You're important. You matter. You matter to God. And I have to say that to myself, because there are times when situations happen where you think you don't matter, or you think you don't have a voice. And being in several relationships where your voice was diminished, your life was diminished, and you didn't even know that it was being that way. So now you have to regroup. Speak life to yourself. Speak life over yourself. And I want to tell all of my listeners and even the Facebook viewers, hi Felicia. She said thank you so much for your transparency. Someone else said it's a pattern. There's a lot of patterns that we break into, habits that are hard to break out of. When I grew up, we grew up in a family where everybody was messing with married men. So it was nothing to get somebody else's guy.
Right.
You know, not knowing that, you know, this is not cool. This is not what God would expect. But who's thinking about God when you're having so much fun?
Right.
You know? And then I had to realize that, wait a minute, I'm worthy of something for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the mindset.
Right.
That's when you transform by the renewing of your mind. Your mindset has to be switched.
Right.
Because everything that we grew up on, I had to unlearn it and relearn because those practices
Right.
weren't healthy.
Right.
Growing up in a domestic violence home. So that practice was unhealthy. But as a direct result, I didn't know what a healthy relationship was.
Right.
Which afforded me the opportunity to stay in an unhealthy one, pretending that it was healthy.
Right.
Mindset.
Right.
I want to read this. I allowed everything that broke me, everyone who left me, and all that I have been through to define me. Breakthrough author Latricia Lopez was hopelessly bound by past traumas, resulting in a life of rejection, addiction, lies, confusion, and abandonment. She was stuck in a world where all she felt was alone and terrified. Throughout this book, you will be lovingly led through simple steps and prayer to help begin the journey toward freedom, understanding, and profound God-centered healing. Latricia is a dedicated Christian mother and wife. She decided not to allow the darts thrown at her by the enemy to define or stop her from what the Lord has called her to do. In discovering the truth of the spiritual realms, she has been able to overcome many challenges. Now her desire is to share how God led her to a life of freedom and show others that the path to overcome will lead them in the same direction. Now, the part that I like is not allowing people to define you or your past, to define your present or your future. Let's
Right.
talk about that.
You know, this is really on my heart. You said patterns. We get stuck in patterns. We get stuck of, this is what I was raised around. This is what I did, you know, drugs, addictions, all this stuff because mama did it, because daddy did it, because that's what you're around. And, you know, yeah, that's real. That's true. And it happens. But I come from a life of addictions. I come from a life of abuse. My parents, you know, were mixed up in a lot of different things. But I chose to have those generational curses broken. You don't have to allow, just because you don't have to live, just because your daddy was an alcoholic, that doesn't define who you are in today and that you are an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. You know, and I hear people say that. I have a family member now that is going through a really terrible addiction, and they someone else in the family said, well, daddy was addicted, mom was addicted, making excuses. And I said, same thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm, you know, you can choose just to break it. You can choose not for my turning point in my life, because I too was into the drinking, drugs, mm-hmm. and all that. My turning point was when I got pregnant with my first child.
Wow.
When I got pregnant with her, and then when I had her, just holding her in my arms, flashbacks of my past, the thoughts of how and why, and it just hit me. And I was like, there's just no way. And she literally was my lifeline.
Wow.
You know, she helped me to see that I had a reason of living. I had a reason. And that's, you know, everybody is given something. You know, for me, that was the birth of my first child. Wow. But everybody has a reason to live. You know, everybody has that lifeline out there. And my prayer for everybody today is, no matter what that lifeline is, I pray that they seek it and find it.
That's right. You know, I really appreciate you saying that, because there are a lot of people that have different avenues that they go to and go through to get to their other side. And again, that's your lifeline. And like Latricia said, whatever it is, whatever your lifeline is, grab a hold to it. Grab a hold to it and just grab a hold and don't let go. I was 28 when I came off of drugs, where most people are coming out of college. I was coming off of crack and snort, addicted to snorting cocaine and addicted to snorting heroin. Didn't like the way it made me feel, but I could not stop that roller coaster. At the time, my daughter was 9 and my son was 6 years old, and it's been almost 27 years now. However, that roller coaster by itself is a monster. Is a monster. And so I would just encourage anybody, whatever you're dealing with, you're not what you're dealing with. You're not even what you've been through. You're not what you're going through. And I tell you, as long as we're living, somebody's going to be going in something, sitting in something, or coming out of something. That's always. So grab your lifeline. Hold on to it for dear life. I had some people on here say they want to come, they want to call in. The call-in number is 301-442-1716. 301-442-1716. You are free to call in and share with us. Now, my YouTuber, do you have any inspirational words you want to say to the people?
No.
No? Tell us a little bit about you, though.
I play football, and I just do YouTube videos.
So tell me what you do on the YouTube videos. Do you have your own what is that, your own page or YouTube so people can subscribe to it?
Yeah.
Well, you need to tell us what it is.
It's King Nathan, 18.
Okay. King Nathan 18. He's a YouTuber. Go to his page, subscribe, and definitely reach out to him. He's coming from a healthy, wholesome family. So I like to make sure that we always sow into good ground. So when you start, supporting him, you're supporting good ground. Oh, we have a call coming in. SaySo Radio, thanks for calling.
Hi, my name's Becky, and I was calling in for Lutricia.
All right. Hi, Becky.
Hi,
We can hear you.
Becky.
You're on the air.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you.
I said, we can hear you. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was actually just calling in. I've read the book, and it's absolutely amazing.
Becky's my best friend.
Hey, BFF.
She is my BFF. She's also my editor.
Okay.
So she helped me edit this book. But my new book that's coming out very soon, she is the editor of that.
Wow. Well, Becky, we need to make sure we have your information since you're an editor. It would be great.
Yeah.
Just
I
throw
know the
some
book
books your
pretty
way.
Well.
So it'll be a perfect thing to throw some books your way. And I believe author Janika Haynes Lynch is on here also, and she's the author of these books, and she's always looking for editors. So Janika, Becky, which is Latricia's BFF, is an editor. Get it, catch it, y'all. Becky, thank you so much for calling. And again, how can we get a copy of your book?
My book is on Amazon. It's also on like 39,000 online stores. The Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, any bookstore online basically. Through me, through PayPal.
Okay.
I can directly mail it. Through me.
You will autograph it, right?
Yes,
so
I
you'll get
will.
your autographed copy. You can't have mine because this is my copy. And let me just tell you this, the topics, let me just read some of the topics so that you guys will understand what you're getting. They have section one, they're broken down into several sections. And so section 1 talks about anger, trust, rejection, inferiority, anxiety, and feeling alone. And then section 2 talk about now my story begins, and I really like that one. Now my story begins and talks about as a child, a mom's choice, the rebellious teen. Talk about the rebellious teen. Yeah, because we have a lot of teenagers who watch this show too. So talk about the rebellious teen.
Oh my.
Yes.
Y'all close your ears.
Close your ears. Mommy has to spill the tea.
No, I'll be honest with you. As a mother, I never kept secrets from my kids. I mean, I didn't tell them information they didn't need to know, but they know my past. They know my lifestyle. They know that I was in drugs. They know.
Hold that thought. We have a call coming in. Welcome to SaySo Radio. You're on the air.
Hello, my name is Selena, and I'm calling in for Lutricia.
How's Selena?
Hey, girl.
She's my high school BFF.
Wow. You know what? That's funny. I thought I was the only one. I have like the school BFFs, the recovery BFFs that I met in recovery, and the adult BFFs. That's crazy. Which one of them is on here now? Abe. I only have 2 male BFFs, Abe and Duck. And so Abraham is on here watching. So what do you have to say today?
Just got to support my girl. I'm so incredibly proud of her. She has truly, truly, truly rose above where she came from, and she doesn't forget where she comes from. She doesn't portray an aura of being better than anybody else. Her goal is truly to lift those up around her. And her and I have been friends for, well, never mind. We won't talk about how many years. We've been friends for a good many
I know,
years.
because we're always forever 25.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
all right. Just making sure we know. Okay.
Exactly. But we've been through it all together. Very many seasons of life. And
Wow.
Just
Thank
very,
you
very
so
proud of her.
much. We thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling. So we were
Oh, you're
on.
welcome. Good luck today. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We were on the Rebellious Teen, and we were talking about how you have a very open relationship with your children.
Yes.
Speaking of children, how many children do you have?
Altogether, my husband and I have 9. Yes. We have
Okay.
his, mine, and ours.
All right. That sounds like a plan right there.
Yes.
So talk about the Rebellious Teen. Do you? Well, we understand you guys have to get the book to get the real tea. But what would you tell your teens who may be going through that transition of, yeah, no, I don't feel like doing this today. I just want to rebel today just because.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I should have one of them come up here and,
Oh, yeah.
and answer that one. I always just try to remind them just how just blessed and fortunate they are to be able to have that. Really, I didn't grow up in a Christian home at all. I kind of had to find God and seek God out on my own. But it's a privilege, it's an honor to be able to have that relationship at a young age. And I just encourage them to just reflect on that, to keep, because this world's filled with so many temptations.
It is.
My oldest just got married, and then
Right. Speaking of that wedding, how did it go?
it was beautiful.
Is that her?
Yes, right.
Girl, I was on the phone when your mother was talking about your wedding. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that because that's a happy place. Let's finish out. We're gonna talk about your wedding because I want you to share with us your wedding. All right? Yes, you have to. I was so excited. I was in Target or Home Depot or something. She was telling me about the wedding. I was like, really? Y'all gonna pull that off? Tell me how it went. And so, oh my goodness. Okay. So, wow. So you just took me to a really, really
That's
happy
fine,
place.
let's bring it.
Come on up here for a second and just share with us about your wedding and how it happened. This woman loves family. She loves her children, and she's always looking for ways to keep everybody happy. So we want to talk about your surprise wedding.
Well, I'll say, to start her off a little bit, she and her boyfriend had bought a house. And she did not want to move in with him until she was married.
Wow.
So her and her best friend went to Paris for a week, and she was planning just a small get-together wedding at the end of that month. Well, her husband now and I, and my best friend Becky, and my other kids, we all decided to pull her a surprise wedding.
Yeah. Tell me about your surprise wedding.
It was perfect. It was really nice.
Was
She did
it?
a really good job.
She did a good job. You were happy?
The only thing I had to do was get the dress, so it saved on stress.
So tell me this though, when you got there and you realized, wait a minute, I'm getting married. How did you feel?
Well, they actually told me in the car ride on the way home from the airport.
Okay.
Because they didn't want me to get mad because of just getting back from Paris, and if I was tired, they didn't want me to be
Right.
not prepared.
Wow.
So they told me in the car, but I was really surprised.
Wow, that's amazing. And how's your husband?
Good. He's really good.
Good. I'm excited for you guys, and I pray and I speak blessings and abundance over your marriage and your life. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, and I want to bring the family up. So we're going to ask some of the family some questions about, oh, yeah, it's y'all show. It's y'all show. I'm just hosting it today. We want to introduce the family, and we want to have them come up and talk about, the life with their mom and, how it is with her being an author and how they support her and things like that. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. The call-in number is 301-442-1716. And we'll be right back.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
Say so, say so, radio, say so, say so, radio, say, with Andre. Say so, radio, say so, radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
Say so, radio, say so, radio, say, with Andre. Say so, radio, say so, radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
Say so, radio, say so, radio, say, with Andre. Say so, radio, say so, radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
Say so, radio, say so, radio, say, with Andre.
Welcome back to SaySo Radio with Andre Harrison Friends. I'm your host, Andre Harris. We have a call in. Caller, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Vanique.
Your family's saying hey to you.
Hey, family. They watch every week faithfully. Hey, y'all. I got 9 too.
This is Mommy.
All right. Okay, hey. They see all your children.
I
Okay.
just want to let Miss Lopez know that I did read a portion of her book late last night, early this morning, and it had me in tears.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
And when I saw her, I told her that it was like she was walking on my toes.
Wow. Wow.
So
Those
I
are the
can't
kind of
wait
responses.
to actually read the whole book and to read the new
Won't
book
get my
when it
copy.
comes out.
I do have a few with me today.
Yeah, because you won't get mine. That's not
I
happening.
know I won't get yours. She told me where I can get it from, so I'm going to go Amazon and get it myself.
Well, she has a few copies, so I'll purchase one, and, you know, she could sign it for you.
Thank you.
All right. And you know what? How many copies do you have
I
today?
have 5.
She has 5 copies today. So maybe I feel like being nice today and sowing a seed. I'll sow another seed. Hey, my mother's on the line. Hey, Ma.
All right. See you all
Okay,
later.
thank you. Thank you for calling in. Thank
All
you for
right.
everything. Bye-bye now. I guess I could be nice enough to sow a seed to my next caller, 301-442-1716, and tell me the name of my guest and the name of her book, and you will probably get this copy. No, you will get the copy. Right now we have her daughter here, and we just want to talk about how you feel about what your mother's doing. You're so beautiful. You a model?
No.
Girl, you ought to be on pictures, girl.
She does. She does movies.
I'm in the film and TVs. But tell me about your mom.
Like how I feel about like.
Yes, how you feel about your mother, all the work that she's doing, her books.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, you would think it would be weird, like, oh, my mom's an author, like, thinking that's going to change, but it's not. Like, it's amazing, but...
Wow. So, do you have, like, because I know in my house, all my kids' friends like to hang around our house. Do you guys have that at your home, too? A lot of your friends... Like,
oh yeah, our house is like an open house.
Open house, yeah. That's the place to be. When you can't find your kids, go to the Lopez family, okay? And I'm not talking about George Lopez. Go to the Lopez house. You'll find. I tell people to come to my house. Don't send good shoes. Don't send socks. They're not gonna find them. They're gonna lose their shoes. So just send them. If you want to send them barefoot, that's fine too. We'll find something for them to wear. So it seems like when you walked in the door, it's like the aura of the love, the genuine love that you guys have for one another as a family. Didn't say it was perfect family, but the genuine and authentic love, I could feel that anointing on your home and on your life. All right? So that wasn't that bad, was it? See, you guys could have done that. You guys could have done that. So let's go back to this book. Hi, Tony. How you doing? And my mom's on here from Charlotte, North Carolina. She watches faithfully every week. The responses that you want to get is, it seemed like you were talking to me. Wow. The responses, like the young lady just said, it seemed like you were walking all over my head, like you were talking to me. And it's amazing that you can have a book and it could sit around, and then the moment you're going through something, you are reminded of, wait a minute, I have a piece of information. Because sometimes, and people know, I pastor several churches, but although I pastor, I like to meet people right there where they are. And so sometimes they can't find a Bible. And they may have found this book sitting somewhere. Younger Me, You Are Free. And it's like, well, okay, but when they open it up and they see certain things like rejection, everybody can identify with that. I don't care how confident people are. Trust. A lot of us don't trust. We have trust issues. We've been hurt by the people that we trust. So the responses that you hear, hi Pam, how you doing? That book was talking to me. She was talking to me. I want more. I want more. Tell us what you're doing now as a direct result of Younger Me, You Are Free. Because now I know you're at a place of freedom. No more bondage. No more past. The past holds you back. The future tells us we're going somewhere. And now you're going places. Tell us about your new projects that you have coming up.
Well, my desire is to start speaking.
Okay.
I would love to be able to just get out and start speaking to men
that's
and
not
women
difficult.
who have been, because for them to find freedom is so important to me. My book, I kept it very simple. I didn't go into a lot of theology and this and that and this and that. I didn't keep the chapters
Great
really long,
read. Mm-hmm.
But I had to, like, my best friend Becky, I would send her every chapter as I was doing it, and she would be like, you need to go a little bit more in detail with this. And it was hard. It was very hard to open up some of those scars, but in order to be able to relate, like to, it's Vanique.
Vanique,
okay. In order, like Vanique, she was able to relate to it. I had to go deep. I had to open up and go into detail about things, because how is people going to be able to relate if they don't relate? So I started another project before school went out, because one thing that's really on my heart with the world is bullying.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was bullied even as an adult. I would have to say adults are probably bigger bullies than kids.
They are.
I really would have to say that. But I started a book on bullying geared towards the middle school age. And it's a 3-section book, one on the child that's bullied, one on the bully, because we all know that if you're bullying,
That's right. You were
there's
bullied.
stuff going on.
That's right.
There's stuff going on at home. There's stuff going on with that child. Kids just don't go out and just hurt people.
Wow.
You know that old saying, hurting people hurt people.
That's right.
And then the third section is going to be about what we can do.
Wow.
We need to bring awareness. You know, we
Definitely.
have awareness on like the DARE program and stuff. We need to bring awareness on bullying because bullying is what's really taking kids' lives.
It is. It is. I did a stage play. I commemorate the Bully Prevention Month every year in October, and we did a play called "The Courage to Stand Up," and I'll make sure I send you a copy of that production. But I am all for that. When I raise children with special needs, and people in this world can be very cruel.
Yes.
My daughter, who just left here, although she's talking and everything, she's 10 years old, but she still has a feeding tube in her stomach. So with that, and then I have another great niece that I'm raising as my daughter who also has a feeding tube, but she has a rare disease that maybe only 80 to maybe 100 people even heard of it, Barrister's something syndrome, Nikolai Barrister's syndrome or something, and it causes her hair to fall out. And she has dwarfism in her ears, and so she doesn't speak or anything. She's 9 years old. So when we're out in the public, people tend to look, and it's like, oh, she ugly, she this. And even with my daughter get ready to go into middle school coming up, I'm already working on sending her to K-12 homeschool because with her having the tube in her stomach, people don't understand.
Right.
And and kids can be very, very, very cruel. She dances, and so every time you turn around, you see this little knot here. And it's not her navel because everybody know her navel's down here. What is that? What is that? Oh, what is that? So I want to protect her because it's our job to protect her. Right. My former foster son, he hung himself from going back home and being mistreated. At 18 years old, they found him hung. And he told them he was going to do it. One of my daughter's friends, they bullied him so bad that he killed himself. You know, so if we don't join forces and open our mouths and talk, and it's not just about trying to raise money, because all the money in the world will not bring a child back who was either cyberbullied, bullied in school, or any of the. No money in the world will bring that child back. So we want to just bring awareness so that people can know that bullying is real. No one wants their child to come home and don't want to go to school. When kids don't want to go to school, they don't want to eat anymore, or they're overeating, there is a problem, and we need to get to the bottom of it because they very well could be going to a world where we thought was safe. It's no longer safe.
Right.
School's not safe.
Right.
So any comments, questions, complaints, or concerns, you guys can give us a call. But I want you to read another portion for me out of this book. Where was it? There it is. Anxiety. Just read a portion, maybe right down to and more.
Okay.
And then we're about to get out of here.
All right. For me, my anxiety started to attack me at the age of 12. I was completely alone in my thoughts and surroundings. I carried a torturous fear of losing the ones I love so dear. I always feared the worst to happen. It is safe to say I did not have a normal upbringing mentally. Anxiety hit me in the form of OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, which is a mental disorder where people feel the need to check on things repeatedly, perform certain rituals repeatedly, called rituals, and or have certain thoughts repeatedly. Most people aren't able to control the thoughts or activities for more than a short period of time. I did not know this then, but I clearly know now. The thoughts I was taunted with were all lies from the enemy. They were so real to me at the time. Daily, I was fighting a battle in my thoughts. I feared greatly that something terrible would happen to my mother or my brother if I did not perform these rituals. It was an endless struggle. I would complete one routine, then the lies would bombard my mind to one point to where I would have to do more and more.
Wow. You know, that's something that OCD, if you don't know about it, I tell you, it's real. But someone sent the question. Hi, Catrice. Someone sent the question, what is your best inspiration in life right now?
I mean, God. Honestly, God is my inspiration. He saw fit. My deliverance came when I was probably about 24 years old, maybe.
Can you show those pictures?
She was like 3 months old, and my ex-husband, which did not have a great relationship with, but I just got done performing a hand washing ritual, whatever, and I was mentally done. I went to him and I said, you need to put me in a mental hospital. You need to do something. I can't do this anymore. And then then the thoughts hit me. I'm like, oh, what, something bad happened to my kids? I can't go to a mental hospital. I got to stay here. I got to do it. So it started hitting me. And he looked at me. He said, you need to read the Bible. And that floored me. I was like, who's this man telling me that I need to read the Bible?
Good thing came out of that, huh?
Right. So he actually went out and bought me a study Bible and a book by Neil Anderson, Bondage Breaker.
Wow, yes.
And within 2 weeks, and this is going to be, I know y'all ain't going to believe this, but I don't like to read. I know, I'm an author. I don't like to read. But it took me 2 weeks to read that book from start to finish. And that was the beginning of my breaking free from the OCD rituals, and that was the beginning of me seeing that the things and stuff was all just, understanding the spiritual realm.
That's right.
It was the beginning for me, and that really helped break me free. So my inspiration is God, because he saw fit to pull me out of the pit. He saw fit to pull me out of the miry clay. He saw fit when I had no one helping me or guiding me. He literally was there.
Wow. And Felicia Scott, who's also an author, she's a children's author. She said, this book sounds like the book is being used as a vehicle for the author to evangelize. Could you put up those pictures right quick? We want to talk about that and get ready to get up out of here. The project that she's working on now, The Dangerous, the D's. Is that the anti-bullying?
That is no. Okay. I've started that book, but a few weeks ago, God totally opened up the doors. This book literally took like 3 weeks to do.
Wow.
He opened up the doors, and but on page 4 of this Younger Me, You Are Free, I go into. Oh, I was wrong. I think page 3.
Oh,
I go
here it
into
is. Let's break into these dangerous deeds, and I'm going to say them quickly. Discouragement, deception, defeat, disbelief, diversion, delay, and depression. The dangerous deeds. Yeah. You got to get a copy of that book. It's coming out soon. Where can we reach you at?
Facebook is probably the best. But The Dangerous Deeds, my interior designer just sent me the cover and the back cover last night. The interior is pretty much done. All I have to do is just approve it, upload it to my printing company, and it should be ready within the next couple weeks. All
right, so let's be right on cue for that. So you can reach her at Latricia. You have your maiden name in there though, right? On Facebook? My
home or my main page. I have Latricia Wooldridge Lopez, and then I also have a author page. Okay, so reach her on her author page. Also, we want to send a shout out to her husband. You see that family picture? Did that family picture come through there? Did we get a family photo? We want to send a shout out. Can we just put the family photo? We cannot. My family. I'm talking about her family. You don't see it? Okay, well, we want send a shout out to your husband, please. I love you, Jim. All right, Jim. Jim, we heard about you last Saturday. Yeah. But we really appreciate you for lending us your wife. I heard that you are her personal angel that God sent her way. And so we just appreciate you for giving her to us for the day. That's about it for our show. Until next time, keep living, keep giving, but most of all, keep loving. I love you. This is Andre Harris. That concludes our show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. And give the credit where it's due. WLVS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo.